it was pretty clear at that point that Gabe and I weren't going to chase that one up there.
This has been a really long week. At this point, I am like getting really close to giving up.
That's the double drop buck. This nicest pair I've seen all week.
Thank God for another day, another chance to chase our prey. Tune up your bow, fall is finally here. Load up the truck, the bows and the gear. Camo and boots, we hit the stand. The wind is right just as we planned. At the break of dawn, looking around, whitetail inside our hearts start to pound. Day game adventures, having a while. Brothers in spirit, rugged and wild. From sunrise to the evening's glow, it's the hunting life, it's wonderful. It's the hunting life, it's what we know.
Welcome to Take Game Adventures. We're going to continue a goat hunt. We started it last week in British Columbia. Mark and I both had the opportunity to harvest a nice goat. In this episode, we're going to continue to follow David, who he strikes pretty early in the hunt, and he's pretty happy. But then we get to follow the saga of Robert. After the first day, realizing that he's afraid of heights, and there's a limitation there, and we have to be really careful, but the worst thing is weather comes in. And we pretty well have 5 days straight of rain and fog. We're in little teeny tents. We got tarps tied up over trees so that at least we have someplace to stand up once in a while and not get dripped on. And the hunt starts to drag on for Robert. But God's good. Enjoy the hunt. So we get up on the first real morning at the main camp. So it's been a 2-day horseback ride back to where we're at. It's rained on us pretty well constantly. We wake up on the Sunday morning and it's actually a pretty clear morning. We have some clouds coming in and out, but we can actually see up onto the mountain and see what's going on. So on that day, we kind of split up. And David, you get to take off with Gabe, and you guys go where and what happens?
We actually went back through the pass that we went through the night before because we had saw some good sign of mountain goats the night before going through there. So Brome, our guide, and then Gabe and I, Gabe videoing, decided to go back through there. So we get through the pass and we're about to start descending, and we look to our right and we see a mountain goat. I mean, it had to have been half mile at least up.
Pretty unreachable.
Yeah.
Pretty unreachable it looked like, but we thought we'd go after it anyway.
This is the story. We came around this hill. We saw some billy goats over here. We're heading towards them originally. We saw this guy up on top of the hill. So it looks like we have to go back up the hill. And we're trying to skirt the mountain and try to get a little closer and see how big he is.
So we went up the hill, and at this point, like you said earlier, it's a lot steeper than around Michigan. And so we were on this incline on all fours trying to make sure that we're not sliding down the mountain. And we're working our way down the valley on the side of this mountain towards this goat. Finally, we get within 400 yards of it, and unfortunately that one spots us, and just, I mean, within 5 minutes it went from halfway up the mountain to the rest of the way up the mountain. It was pretty clear at that point that Gabe and I weren't going to chase that one up there. We were just exhausted. We had been walking for miles and miles on this loose stone that every single time you take a step, you lose a step in elevation because you're sliding down the mountain. And it just saps all of your energy, and I mean, it was just exhausting. And finally, like, we were getting pretty close to where we saw those last two goats from the very beginning, the ones that we really were chasing. And like, Gabe and I were both ready to throw in the towel because we were just exhausted. And we had another 3-hour hike down the valley, back up through the pass that we went through the day before. And we knew what that was like, and it was not pretty, so we were at that looking forward in the back of our mind. And next thing you know, we look over during one of our hiking breaks, and there's a goat staring right at us.
WinSense Active Vapor ups your hunting game. Proven effective up to 300 yards away. Scent released during your entire hunt. Over 30+ cover and attractant scents available from some of the top brands in the scent industry. Up your scent game with our long-lasting scent tanks and highly potent scent pads. Active Vapor for deadly success.
We were standing right over this wind scent when I shot him.
Does wind scent work? I'm here to tell you it does.
This segment is brought to you by Ultra Arrows, Slick Trick Broadheads, Dual Game Calls, Tree Thrasher, and Wind Scent.
Is it? It's up to you. I don't know. How big is it? I got it if you end up. But I don't. Yeah, I see. I got them both in the frame. I don't know. Oh, sheesh. You got him. Oh my goodness, David. Was that the craziest? Were we a little bit caught off guard there, David?
Oh my God.
Good job. I can't believe that. What kind of a day have we had?
Gabe and I have been walking all over these hills. I mean, Brahms just up and down. If you turn around and see, we started over in that valley over behind Gabe, and we walked all the way across about that level.
All the way
Our
across.
feet hurt so bad right now.
All the way around, way behind this hill. Good shot, man.
Oh my word!
I don't even know how far that was. Probably at least 200 yards. And you didn't have, you didn't really have.
It's basically freehanding against the side of the mountain. This is proper shooting form, by the way.
There you go.
For a mountain.
By the way, this mountain is like, hang on tight, or you fall down.
Yeah.
So.
Keep the shivers now.
Oh my word.
I broke a sweat after that, and now I'm paying the price. Oh,
I think we're a little bit in shock here.
like, I just can't believe that just happened. Dave and I were just talking about, I was like, don't worry, if we don't hit this right now, we're heading back because we're going to be so tired. Oh, I appreciate it. Oh man. Hey,
Good job.
thank you very much.
Shot. And I don't know if you heard while you were sitting here, but I heard 4 shots down the mountain that way.
Oh, really? Yes.
Somebody else shot one.
Oh, good.
About 5 minutes before you shot yours.
Did I shot twice or once?
Once.
Once. Once.
You hit. I think you hit him real good. Obviously you did.
That is still really steep. Man.
It's a good one. I don't have a tape measure, but I measured with my hand over there.
Oh man, it is beautiful. It's unbelievable. We walked a long ways today. I'm sure Gabe has it tracking, so we'll find out the official number. But basically, this one was the
farthest one away that we could see. We were chasing 2 other ones as on our way here. And, like, the first one spotted us, went up the mountain higher, we couldn't get at him. And the second one, we thought we had a good chance with him, but it just wasn't going to be a good shot. And so at this point, Gabe and I were exhausted, following our guide around. We just walked our legs off. But it obviously paid off. Yeah.
Stabilize your firearm or crossbow from wherever you hunt, however you hunt. From ground blinds to ladder stands to side-by-sides to ultralight tripods. We have what you need to make long-range accuracy easy. Leading the industry in innovation, we offer some of the most modular and adaptable shooting rests on the market. Ditch the shake and steady your shot with Final Rest.
Good shoot, buddy. I mean, A5s, man.
This segment is brought to you by Badlands Gear, Huntwise, Vortex Optics, revealed by Tacticam, and Matthews.
What a great hunt. Couldn't be happier for David. He's actually doing that at the same time that I was hunting for mine, and we actually think we heard his gunshot go off out in the middle of nowhere. There's not much else to hear. If it's that, you're pretty sure that it's your hunter.
Right.
But great opportunity. And then you get to Robert's turn. The last one, we're all trying to pay attention to see what we can see. Our boots are all getting a little bit wetter now. And
you know, if you ever go on a goat hunt,
Don't wear tennis shoes?
Don't wear tennis shoes or hiking boots. We picked up some low hiking boots, like high top tennis shoes, hiking boots that were supposedly waterproof, because we thought we'd be doing so much hiking and they would be super comfortable. They didn't hold the water back
at all.
Walking through the first wet grass in the yard where we got dropped in. And so for all 4 of us, we had wet feet for all these days. It was livable, but it was miserable.
Mm-hmm.
But
it's probably a little bit more miserable if you're the only one in the group who hasn't got a goat yet.
yes.
So, Tony and Robert got 4 days of unable to see anything.
Yep.
And so we start moving around. We start heading back a little bit up the area that we came through to an area that they thought there's some other goats that he could probably get onto, even with all the weather going the way it was. And then he heads out for that day. And
Last day of the hunt.
yeah, I mean, we were almost back to camp.
Yeah. Got up in the morning and fortunately see something.
Yeah.
And, you know, we all sit and celebrate because he was only going to be able to go up that mountain so far into those rocks without getting ill because of the height. And the gift to be able to crawl up and still be in pine trees and be hidden that well and get within a shooting distance of a really nice goat.
All right, day 7, 8, 7 or 8. Days are all running together. It's finally a clear day out here. Still waiting to see something to chase. Looking for a big goat in these mountains. We have a great view of the whole mountain range all around us here. We're gonna sit and spot for a while and hopefully chase one up one of these hills. Hopefully not too high because we're scared of heights. We didn't know we were until we got on the heights.
My version of the hunt's actually more of what the traditional version is, because we had to do horseback riding for most of our hunt. We didn't take off from camp and walk. We had a 3-hour horseback ride through the mountains. So we're riding along, and we finally see our first goats in 6 days up on the. And of course, they're up on the very top of an unreachable mountain. So we pass them by and we keep going on. And we're riding by just beautiful lakes and ponds, and we're thinking, well, maybe we'll see a moose. At this point, I am like getting really close to giving up, because it's like, this has been a really long week.
This is what we're looking at. Two goats. Okay, let's go for the closer one. Okay, let's go for the closer one. Alrighty. Let's do it. What do you think? Either one look the same, so you'll see.
We're going along, we see 2 goats at the very back of a valley over a lake. We start kind of heading towards them thinking, well, maybe it's a billy, but it kind of looks like it's a nanny with a really large kid or a yearling. And so we're heading towards them, and just as we come around the bend, the last bend, this is like the end of the road for where we're going. There's nowhere else to go from this valley. We don't see anything here. We're going back to camp and maybe try again the next day if we have time. So we come around the corner, and they are sitting up on the top of the mountain, not quite the top, are 2 goats that look extremely reachable. Compared to everything else we'd seen all week, these looked like the easiest things to get to. And I was so thankful.
Where is it? How far? It's not that far, but pretty soon.
So we go down, ride the horses down. We're trying to stay in the trees so the goats can't see us because these things have phenomenal vision. We get down towards the bottom and get the horses all tied up, and we start crawling our way through the trees, working our way up, kind of back and forth, trying to stay out of their vision. One of the goats starts to move down the mountain further and further down. We're like, oh yes, less and less I have to climb. This is just going to be perfect. Then all of a sudden, we come out from the trees and he's gone. And he's disappeared over the ridge, and we're like, oh no, where'd he go? And we decide we have to go after the other one, which is quite a bit higher up, but still very reachable compared to everything else we've been on. So we're going up, and Gabe and Dad in there, and our guides, Leaf and Clayton, are with us, and we're crawling back and forth looking for openings, and finally we have to leave Gabe behind with the camera and Dad down the hill a little ways because it was just too many of us were moving through, and we were getting close to the goats at 400 yards about at that point. And so Clayton, Leaf, and I start belly crawling through the little pine trees that are only about, maybe 2 feet high, and we can't find anywhere to get a good rest. We're at 300 yards, 330 yards actually, and can't get closer. So we're looking for a rest all over the place. Finally, get a little tiny tree that's maybe 6-8 feet tall, doesn't have a lot of branches, but has a good V in it, threw Leaf's coat in the middle of it, and gave me a pretty good rest at 330 yards, and took the shot.
No! Oh boy. Oh boy.
It's the perfect combination of comfort, durability, and ease of use. Made in the USA of the highest grade materials to last a lifetime. 5-sided design with a spacious carpeted interior and almost panoramic view. Windows large enough for both rifle and bow hunting. Modular design for easy setup and teardown where equipment can't go. Towers and an array of blind accessories available. Choose the outfitter grade hunting blinds from Slayer Blinds.
This segment is brought to you by Fourth Arrow Camera Arms, Final Rest Shooting Systems, Slayer Hunting Blinds, HHA Sports, and Hornady.
Yeah, so have you ever seen an animal fall that far after shooting? I mean, that just shows the perspective of how steep it is there.
Oh,
and
unbelievable.
No wonder why Robert was a little bit,
Oh, and then you hear Gabe, the cameraman, and you hear him going, oh my, and he's starting to giggle because he's like, that
This is
goat.
amazing.
It was shocking because sitting down below, you just don't get the sense for how absolutely steep that is.
Yeah.
And that goat fell 400 yards.
Yeah, a long ways. And now Robert was happy because he didn't have to go up there to get it.
Yeah, we just had to practically walk across the mountain.
He was just happy that it came down together and in one piece.
Yeah.
Because it could have been a lot worse falling that far. I mean, anyone who's ever shot something like that would know that you're worried that your animal is just going to be in a just total mess. Which his was pretty tenderized, but at least the head, everything was still in relatively good condition.
So that was fun.
Oh boy. He took a pretty hard fall. I couldn't see where he hit it, but
he spined him somewhere.
Good for him. Hey, where are you?
300 and some yards.
Dropped him.
That adds inches to it, by the way. So whatever the horns are, you add inches for every yard you shot. So Mark's is only 1 inch.
Good shooting.
Woo.
Took you long enough.
Well, we were just in all this crap, and he kept looking this direction. And finally we got up there, and we didn't have a rest, so we got up to the ridge, and then we thought we were going to drop off here. So this doesn't drop at all. It just goes, it just gently rolls off. So we finally got to a tree that had a real good split and a bunch of branches threw up Leaf's jacket up there. I sat on a tree, I bent one of these over and used it as a bench. I couldn't get up to him, I wasn't low enough. So I kept sliding out. Finally, all of a sudden the tree like snapped and broke down. The next time I looked through the scope, I mean, it was crosshairs were right on him when I looked through the scope.
You didn't even aim.
I didn't aim, I just pulled the trigger. That's the trick. Oh man.
Good job.
I'm thrilled. I can't believe it. And
so am I.
See how far he fell?
Yeah. He might have a few broken.
That in video.
Yeah.
Every spot he fell, I got happier and happier. I didn't walk up any further.
Yeah. Good job.
They're saying his horns are gonna break. I'm thinking, I don't care.
We can put them back together.
Horns back on. Like a big horn. Whew. Hey. Cameraman. You got it.
Oh.
You guys couldn't be there with us, but
we were just below you.
You got some really good tape.
No, I heard you put her. I heard
he's not even running away. We could have just walked up on him.
I heard you wrecked your rifle.
Do you think it still has horns?
It was. We saw
I
horns.
saw horns most of the way down. Some sort of horns, anyway. I don't know if they had the tips on them, but.
I really didn't want to do that again. This is steep. Not as bad as stuff we've been on.
I'm glad you hit it.
Oh, me too. Oh man. I did say a good prayer before. Not that that's what That was the last.
Yeah.
What a hunt. What a hard hunt.
The other
last day of the hunt, really. We were supposed to travel out tomorrow on horseback. Everything got set back a day.
Finally got good weather.
Finally. It was 7 days, 8 days in a row of rain. Everyone else filled on Sunday, and today is Saturday. Guess what he still has? His horns.
Legs.
Horns.
Oh.
He looks a little brown and red.
So thank you for joining us at Take Aim Adventures. And don't forget, take aim with your life for the glory of God. See you next week.
Is this a male? We're done. That
Okay,
one.
who's the one for
5, 6.
Pick the one?
Yeah.
It's the hard life, it's what we